Soccer 605, we're here with Jen Slater-Unruh, who is the president of the South Dakota Adult Soccer Association, and then also the Sioux Falls Adult Co-ed soccer program here in Sioux Falls. Jen, let's share with everybody how you got involved with soccer.
Well, I've been involved with soccer since I was probably 5 or 6. My grandfather, Richard Rathmall, was one of the founders of Sioux Falls Soccer, along with Manfred Shamite.
So you're one of the culture keepers of soccer in the area.
I am.
That's great.
He started the first, or helped start the first men's team, Sioux Falls 77, which is still playing now.
Still a great team.
Sioux Falls 77 stands for. It was started in 1977.
Oh, and here I always thought it was because it was ODP players born in 77.
Nope. So, and so the interesting thing about that is I actually play with one of the guys that was on the original Sioux Falls 77 team.
Wow.
And so he's played with my grandfather, my father, and me. So he says he's going to play till my oldest son can play, so he can play with 4 generations of my family.
Oh, that gives me chills. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, talking about your team, one of the reasons we wanted to get together today was to do a wrap-up that we didn't get to do of the Prairie Hills Invitational this last weekend. And you did have some older people on your team playing. We went to Friday night. There was a great game between your team, Nemesis, and the Everest group.
Right.
Great match there. You prevailed in that one.
We did, in that one.
Significantly. Started off on Saturday then. Let's see, what was the next game? Did you guys play Everest, or did you play Sioux Falls?
We didn't play
Gateway?
Saturday,
Okay.
but on Saturday at 5 o'clock, Gateway played Everest.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
And
Gateway won.
Came away with a nice win
Yep.
out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday morning, you guys took on Gateway.
We took on Gateway and won that game. Yep.
And then Gateway wound up playing Everest in the triangular, and
Everest. No, Everest beat Gateway in the semi.
In the semi? Okay.
Yep. And then Everest beat us in the final.
Ah.
So it's kind of a Cinderella story.
It was.
It was great.
It was.
It was really
the
good.
fact that Everest had a couple losses and came back and did really well. It was a lot of fun watching. It seems like everyone out there is playing with pure love of the game.
Right. And they all get along. You know, they play hard, but they still get along, which is great. Which is basically the philosophy of our league is play hard but have fun.
Yeah, and it's the same for the kids. You know, step on the field, the other team is your opponents, but off the field you're still
They're
friends.
Your friends, right.
This was the second annual Prairie Hills Invitational. We had the pleasure of coming to it last year. And this is a statewide tournament.
Right.
And can be a qualifier to go on further events?
It can be a qualifier to go on to a regional event, which they hold in Kansas City, and it can be a qualifier for Tournament of Champions.
And what is the Tournament of Champions?
Tournament of Champions is it's a regional event for the regional teams that may not move on to nationals. They can go to another event and play.
Wow. And where's that held at?
This year it is in Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
That'd be fun.
Yep, and we have our mid-year regional meeting at the same time, so Gina and I will be going to that.
Oh, wow. That'll be a good time. And we also watched during the tournament the Men's Premier League Championship, the Men's Premier Division Championship between the Sioux Falls All-Stars and Dakota Tyneside. That was another great match. In fact, it went into the overtimes and wound up going into a shootout.
PKs, yeah,
And,
that was great.
That was a highly energetic match, and I have to admit, I was impressed with their energy at that level for that age.
Right, absolutely.
So what is the oldest age that you have playing in the league?
We have a gentleman who is 63 who plays in our league, and he's probably in better shape than 95% of our players.
Wow.
He can run.
So it is the game for the whole span of life,
It
isn't
is. Yep, we've got 18-year-old all the way to 63 right now.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's very amazing.
And it's really nice to have a nice adult program for the transition for people to go to.
Right, and we have just enough levels that they can, when they decide that, you know what, I can't run at this level anymore, they can step down.
Now, and I noticed quite a few referees out there playing. I think it would do a lot of the kids good to know that the people that are reffing most of their games are also playing.
Which really helps. I think it really helps. We have one gentleman who's played forever, and now he's a ref, and I think he's gotten a new perspective on soccer.
And maybe he's not as hard on refs when he's playing.
Absolutely. It's helped a lot. Yeah.
And you also probably have quite a few people that are playing in your league that coach, don't you?
Yes.
And that's really nice. We didn't have that even 10 years ago in South Dakota, that many players who are also coaches or coaches who had ever played the game. So that really is...
It gives them a good perspective on what the kids really are capable of doing. And when you say get to the ball, sometimes it's really hard to get to the ball.
Yeah, we visited with Amber on Saturday night during the tournament, and she was reiterating that too, that she has a little more empathy for,
It's
for what
not
it
as
takes
easy
to
as
get
it
to the
looks.
ball. Yeah. Well, speaking of, you said during the Tournament of Champions in Kentucky, you'll have your mid-year meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got back not too long ago from the annual meeting.
Right,
correct?
it was the annual AGM for U.S. Soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So the adult side and the youth side are there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 100 years of U.S. Soccer, so it was a huge celebration.
Yeah, share
Yep,
your...
got
This is
our,
really cool.
This was a free gift.
100 years of U.S. soccer.
Yep.
Exactly.
We also were given a book that's on the counter there.
Oh, okay.
That's full of pictures from 100 years ago till now, so it's a hardcover book.
Oh, a history book.
Yep. Full of all kinds of pictures of all the players and coaches. It's a pretty phenomenal book. When
Wow.
people walk through the door now, they stand here for probably a good 10 minutes and look at
That's
that book
really
if
nice.
they have time.
And I suppose people can probably get this on U.S.
They
Soccer.
can, I believe they can get it on ussoccer.com.
That's a great coffee table book for
Absolutely.
any soccer fan
It's a
for
great
gift.
book.
And you also got a couple of other things here that I see I pulled over.
Yep, this is our second year in a row. We have increased membership in South Dakota in 2012, and this one's from 2011. So this is our second year in a row getting this award.
Well, I getting a couple more years, and you can have a little beer party here right here.
That's
in the
right, in
office.
our own office. And we're close to having 3 votes for our state,
Great.
which is a huge accomplishment for a small state.
Well, how many adult players are registered in South Dakota?
Right now, there are approximately 1,300
Wow, I don't think people realize that. And then there's a lot of programs I know that are going on that are not
that are
necessarily
not
affiliated.
So we've got other, and we want to get them affiliated because it's to their benefit and
Well,
their
and
players' benefit. And you get a lot of benefits out of U.S. Soccer. They do a lot for their players.
Well, then there's the insurance aspect of
Right.
it, the ability to participate in different tournaments and events. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what does the future hold then for adult soccer in South Dakota?
I think it'll only grow. As the kids will go all the way through it and become adults, and there's already a program established for them. They have something to jump into.
Mhm.
If they go to college, they can jump into it when they're done. If they don't go to college, they can still play. So
Yeah.
it gives them an opportunity to keep playing, and you can play the sport for a long time.
Yeah. Well, and obviously you have demonstrated that in your
Mhm.
league. Now, I know in South Dakota we only have one state school that has a men's program. That's South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. But several of the other schools have club programs.
Mhm.
Are they affiliated then with South
They're
Dakota Adult
under no, because they're run under college rules, so they're under the
Soccer? Okay.
whatever affiliation they are, whether it's NCAA or whatever it's under. So
They have their own club program.
their rules are different and their
Okay.
insurance is different and all that.
Well, right here in Sioux Falls, I know we have the co-ed league.
Right.
And how many teams did you say are in that?
Right now we have 22.
That's great. There is also the men's premier
Right.
league.
They have 4.
There's 4 teams in that, and there's also the Hispanic league.
Right, and they have. I have to think about this for a minute. I want to say they have 11 teams
Okay,
somewhere in there.
that's still quite a few
They
teams.
play
Just-
5 games on a Sunday, so they probably have 10 or 11 teams. So they have one team that sits out, so that's right.
So how many other programs in South Dakota besides you guys here in Sioux Falls have an organized adult league or an adult program?
Aberdeen has a small league.
Now is that affiliated with the Hub City Soccer?
I am not positive on that, but they are affiliated with the South Dakota.
Okay.
I'm not sure if the Hub Soccer runs it, but I'm pretty sure they do. Pierre also has a small soccer league of 4
Okay.
teams. Of course, West River has a competitive and a co-ed.
Okay.
I think that's it. We're working on, Brookings is currently working on this summer. They're playing a 4v4. They're having a 4v4 adult league.
Brookings is. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
So
Yeah, I
they-
knew they were looking at getting into that. We actually get quite a few inquiries from when people move into the state on
Mhm.
Soccer 605 asking us how they can
Yeah.
hook up with a team, and we usually.
And eventually we'd like to get with those towns that are small,
Mhm.
or not small, that are close to us, where we can add them into our league or vice versa for games so that we can play some different teams.
And I heard some talk about Yankton maybe getting
Mhm.
something going,
Right.
and then also in Huron, I understand
Right.
that there's a very large Hispanic league
Right.
operating over
I've
there
been
as well.
told that.
So
Yeah.
that'll be good. And now we have the Prairie Hills Invitational, second annual, got that under your belt,
Right.
and it can only grow bigger and better every year. Next month will be the John W. Sarah
Right.
Memorial Tournament in
Mhm.
Rapid City. Are there any other adult tournaments that you know of in the state right now?
Not right now. We're gonna attempt to put one together for indoor
Okay.
in December.
Okay. Yeah, indoor is really growing in the state
Yeah.
too.
It'll be a small-sided, but
Small-sided, small field.
Right.
Better for older people.
right. Better for those of us with skill and not so much physical fitness.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Jen, we appreciate you taking some time
Yeah,
with us. It's
no problem.
it's exciting times for soccer in South Dakota. It continues to grow,
Right.
and we're thrilled to be part of the Prairie Hills last weekend.
Mhm.
And congratulations on the increased
thank you.
membership.
Yeah.
Next year they're going to have to get you a picture. They won't have gone so far.
Yeah, they'll have to get me a 6-pack eventually
All right.
with the mug.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.